Where can I learn? Where do I need to improve to make this better for me? Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about how to rewire your mind and get what it is that you want. Now, you often hear me talk about mindset and how mindset is the key to anything that you want to achieve. Now, here's the thing, right? Everybody's goals are going to be different. For some people, to get what you want may mean to be more present with their family. It may mean to have healthier skin. It may mean to create a business of their dreams to earn more money. It could even be material goals, right? So to get a car, to get a house. Everyone's wants and needs are going to be different, but I believe that the same rule applies across the board in terms of to get to where you want to be, it is going to take external action as well as internal action. You need to have the both of them, right? And a lot of the time we all know what action to take. We know if we want to get healthier, then we need to eat healthier and go to the gym more. So we start adopting better external habits. Now, your actions are massively impacted by your thoughts. So a lot of us will know what it is we need to do, but we don't know how to rewire the mindset in order for it to push us forward. You may also find that you're creating a business. You have all these amazing ideas, but you can't quite seem to create the page and put it out there or put it on your social media because you're worried about what other people may think. There's going to be a variation of different thoughts, beliefs, and patterns in your mind and in your actions that are either going to push you to where you want to go and where you want to be, or they're going to limit you and they're going to hold you back. And in this, I want to talk about how to use your thoughts and your actions in a way that is going to get you. Our actions are determined by our thoughts. And so this is why I feel it's so important to put a focus on how to change the mindset. But how do we do it, right? A lot of us don't even know what is going through our mind a large percentage of the time, or we have so many thoughts and we overthink things way too much that we don't even know what to do next. So I'm going to break it down for you and I'm going to help you to understand it in a way for you to get what it is that you want, whatever that may be. So first of all, before we go into the actual action and how to rewire the mind, I first of all want to talk a little bit about acceptance and getting uncomfortable. We first of all have to become very aware of where we are right now, because where we are right now in conjunction with that goal, with that want, is a result of all the actions and thoughts that you have taken so far. And so in order to understand how to not keep doing that, so where we are right now is not where we want to be, right? We don't want to keep doing it. So we want to understand, how have we got to that point? It's not always about rewiring your mind or becoming something. A majority of the time, it's actually unbecoming. It's actually unwiring the mindset. So first of all, we have to accept where it is that we are currently, and also accept that there are going to be things that we're not good at. So for example, say that you want to get healthier, and so you decide that your action is that you want to go to the gym 5 days a week. Your mind is either going to push you forward or it's going to hold you back. When you get into the gym, there are going to be things that you are not good at straight away, right? It's a learning curve. It is a whole process when we're doing something new. The same goes for if you're buying a house. You don't know the process yet. You don't know the process of what you've got to do in order to gain that house, sign for that house, whether you're getting a mortgage or not getting a mortgage, whatever it may be. There's always going to be things that you're going to be good at, and there's things that you're not going to be good at. And it's first of all accepting those things and going, okay, where can I learn? Where do I need to improve to make this better for me? We need to make things enjoyable. Example, the gym or business, right? If you want to achieve a great physique by going to the gym, and you're regularly going to the gym, and this is your goal, right? This is your want, that you want this, I don't know, that you want ripped abs or whatever it may be for you. You've got this particular thing in your mind. We have to accept that we are not already there, and that is okay. It's not about beating yourself up. It's not about putting yourself down. It's about just accepting that we need to change some things and we need to be able to learn. So therefore, you may get into the gym and you don't know the correct form. You don't know where to start. You don't know where you're supposed to be. The first couple of times you go, you're not going to know what you're doing. Now, this is going to bring up thoughts. It's going to bring up thoughts that are already there, that are uncovered, right? Because you're doing something new. So it's bringing it out of your subconscious. Those thoughts are already there. You just weren't aware of them. So you're going to go to the gym and you're going to start running on the treadmill, and you're not sure whether to put it on an incline or a decline, or how high to put it or what to put it on. And you're going to start going, I don't know what I'm doing. That thought, I don't know what I'm doing, then turns into, I'm not good enough. Then it turns into, I shouldn't be here. Then it turns into, everybody's staring at me. And we start to overanalyze and overthink, to then we get to the point where we bring up all these thoughts that are then going to allow us to not be consistent in the gym, which is why I always say regulate your nervous system after the gym. Is a really, really great tool if that's one of your goals, right? Once you've done your workout, regulate your nervous system, because your body, when doing an intense workout, goes into fight or flight mode. So if you can regulate your nervous system to show it that it's safe to be uncomfortable, it's more likely to want to go back again. And so it's taking these tools and putting them into a place that allows us to be okay with feeling uncomfortable, and be okay with those thoughts coming up, and accept those thoughts and recognize those thoughts, and know that on this journey of wherever it is that you're going, or whatever it is that you want, there are going to be many things that you're not good at, and you are not supposed to be. Just because you're not good at something doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. We often hear people say, oh, it should feel comfortable, it should be easy. I do not believe that. If it feels easy, it's because it's natural to you. And we already know whatever your natural pattern is not where you want to be right now, because it's got you to where you don't want to be. Or it might be that you want to be here, but you want more, and that's okay to want more. But if it feels really natural, it's because you're maintaining, or because you're doing something you've already done, which can be good. But when it comes to wanting to achieve something else, we want it to feel uncomfortable. We want it to bring up the thoughts that we didn't even realize were there. So it's, what do we then do with those thoughts, right? Accepting where you are currently isn't always easy, and noticing those thoughts and facing yourself and facing those thoughts head on isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows, right? The process can be a little bit up and down when it comes to achieving what it is that we want. It's important to know and to understand that the results come after the process. It isn't always going to be a quick fix. Now, I have got certain tools that can unwire those thought processes and rewire them into something positive, so it makes it easier for you, right? So you are not so scared. Say, I said about being in the gym and all those thoughts going around. We can rewire the brain so we don't have so many of those negative thoughts. You're still not going to know your form. You're still not going to know what you're doing, but you're going to feel more confident in doing it. So it's accepting the fact that there is still going to be a process behind getting what you want. You actually have to take action to change your frequency enough in order to be in alignment with it. And now your thoughts are a massive part of your frequency. Your thoughts project a frequency out to the universe, and the universe will then give you opportunities to show that that is right. So if you keep putting out the thought, I am rubbish at the gym and everyone is staring at me, you're telling the universe that's what you want. You're telling your mind that's what you want. And your mind is always going to give you what you want, because it wants to prove yourself right. So we need to change that way of thinking, because otherwise you're going to notice every time somebody may accidentally look at you, you're going to notice you're going to trip over something and feel even worse about it. You end up actually attracting the things that you think, right? So if you keep saying to yourself, I'm not good enough, you're going to end up going on things that you're not good at. Right? So what you want to say to yourself is, I'm really strong and I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning and I've got this and I've got this and I've got this. And eventually the mind is going to go, do you know what? I'm learning and I have got this and I do this well and nobody is looking at me. Nobody really cares. Okay. And so it doesn't matter what it is that you want to achieve. Your thoughts are always going to try and keep you in your comfort zone. So you want it to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and accept that it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and accept that there are some thoughts that need to change just as much as there are some actions that need to change too. This takes me then to understanding the mind and the emotions. I'm only going to go into this a little bit before we really get into the nitty-gritty of how to change it. But your thoughts all come from a experience. So your thought process and your mind is built on a structure. And usually this structure does first start from when you're a child. This may be your religious systems in your household, morally what's around you, your relationships that are around you, the people and things that are around you are constantly teaching you when you're a child. So as we get older, we're still constantly learning all the time. Now, your thoughts are a projection of that. So if you have a certain type of experience which makes you not feel good enough, that thought is then stored in the mind. And anytime anything similar triggers that, it's going to make you not feel good enough. Say you want to get a car. There's a particular car that you want to manifest, right? This actually happened to me. I've actually done this. So there was a particular car that I always wanted to manifest. And I was like, why do I not end up getting the better car? Why do I end up with these beat up cars? Why do I not end up getting that and getting there? I realized that there was a point in my childhood that I was told constantly that I wasn't able to look after anything. You don't ever look after anything. You don't ever look after anything. Therefore, in my mind, I had created this belief that I do not deserve anything of value. So therefore, I would never get to the point of owning something of value, of larger value, or what I deemed as a high material item, because I was constantly told I wouldn't look after it. I then had to rewire that in my brain. I then had to take action to get the car. But this was an energetic block that was stopping me. Your mind creates energetic blocks. And the same goes with, say that your goal is to be healthier and to have a better physique and to go to the gym a lot. If in somewhere, say in your childhood, there was a period of time where you may have been bullied or you may have been put down for your weight or your appearance, over time you would have stored that in your mind, and the mind would have started to believe it. It's been given proof over and over. Everyone has told me that I'm too big, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. And you started to believe it. So now when you go to the gym, you think everyone is looking at you thinking the same thing. And so it's understanding that the mind and the thoughts are coming from somewhere. Now, when we know that, we can shift it because we can release that. So those thoughts that come from experiences also are a set of emotions. Right? This is mind, body, soul connection here. We know deep in our soul that we are good enough to get the business that we want, right? But in our mind, we're going, oh, everyone's going to think that I'm a loser if I start posting about this, and that. In our body, we're feeling scared and anxious, so we don't do it. But in our soul, deep down, we know that we're supposed to, right? And this is where that mind, body, soul connection comes in. And we have to try and find a way to balance all of those things. So it's recognizing that there are thoughts, and it's recognizing that there are emotions. Now, my belief is, as we go through an experience, a traumatic experience, whether that is big T or little t, whether it's a tiny little traumatic experience or a big traumatic experience, when we go through that experience, we create blockages in our mind. So we create thoughts, right? We're not going to call them blockages. We create thoughts based upon that experience. So, for example, what I was saying about the car, I was told constantly, you can't look after anything. So my thought is going, you can't look after anything, you can't look after anything. My emotions are feeling sad, they're feeling down, they're feeling not quite good enough, which may make me feel anxious and uncomfortable. We then trap those emotions within the body that are in connection to the thought. Now, in order to change the thought, we have to release the emotion. Now, the only time you would feel that emotion is when that thought is triggered. When someone may say to you, oh, you'll never get a nice car, then that thought is triggered, and then those emotions and those feelings are triggered too. So your triggers are actually your superpower. So when you then get out of your comfort zone and you take yourself to do something, like I said about the gym, and all those thoughts come up, once they've come up, we can work on them. We can work on that emotion. We can work on those thoughts. This is why it's important to take action and do the external as well as the internal work that is required. So let's go on to how we unwire then. So first of all, we want to recognize what doesn't align with us. So we want to recognize the things that we're doing that don't align with us. So if you're wanting to get healthier, going to the pub every weekend isn't going to align with you, right? Because it's not going to trigger you. So you need to go to the gym and then that's going to trigger you, and you're going to start to have these thoughts come up. Now, I don't believe that all the time we have to be triggered. We can just sit with ourselves, right? We can just sit in stillness and ask ourselves, why am I not forcing myself to go to the gym? What is it about myself? Okay, and once we can start bringing those thoughts out of the subconscious, we can then start to release the emotion, and we can start to unwire those thought processes, right? The subconscious is where everything is stored. The subconscious mind is where all those memories, thoughts, and processes are stored, and it isn't always nice to access them. But it lasts a millisecond. It lasts seconds. It doesn't last long, right? So if everything is stored in the subconscious for us to access, 5 or 10% is conscious. So those thoughts you're having every day that you're aware of, that's only like 5% of your thoughts. The other 95%, I think it's 95% subconscious, 5% conscious. So 5% of your thoughts that you're aware you're having, those ones you're aware of, that's only 5%. The other 95% are subconscious. They're in that giant memory bank. You're not aware you're having those thoughts. We want to become aware enough that we bring those thoughts up, and that's how we unwire them. We recognize them, because those thoughts are not aligning to what we want to achieve. So we need to get rid of them, just like the actions are not aligning to what we want to achieve. If you're doom scrolling on your phone for 2 hours, that action doesn't align with reaching a business goal. If you're sat writing, marketing, doing the things for your business, that does align with your goal. So yes, we often go, oh, I know what action, but we don't know how to do it with our thoughts. It's the same thing applies, right? We have to just recognize what those thoughts are. So allowing those triggers to come up, and whether that be getting yourself out of your comfort zone so those triggers come up, or whether that just be sitting for a moment and asking yourself. And so this is what I'm going to ask you to do, is to allow yourself to make space of those thoughts, and you make space by letting those thoughts go. And like I said before, those thoughts are connected to emotions, so you're going to feel them, but sometimes we have to feel them in order to heal them, right? So first of all, you're going to ask yourself, what do I want? You can get as clear or as vague on this if you want. The clearer you are on this, the easier it is to break it down. So what do I want? Is that business? Is that going to the gym more? Is that getting a healthier physique? Is that getting a car? Whatever it is. Then you're going to ask yourself, why don't I have it? And I want you to be really honest with yourself. Why don't I have it? Why? You're going to ask yourself why. And then you are going to come up with thoughts and put them in a sentence, right? Those thoughts are called limiting beliefs. And those are the beliefs that are stopping you from getting to where you want to go. Okay, so you find the limiting beliefs and then we need to release them. We've now recognized them. We've become aware of what our subconscious thoughts are. And this is where we do shadow work. And this is where the tools are to unwire those belief systems. Now, there are many different things that you can do to release that. First of all, you can just journal about it, right? Say your belief is, I'm too fat and everyone's staring at me in the gym. I want you to write about it. Write about that. What experiences have you had in your life that has made you feel like that? Get it all out of your system. You can also do the same by just talking. This is why talking really helps sometimes. And you can tap, you can EFT tap. This will help to get those emotions out of the body as you're talking or doing it in between your writing. What this is doing is basically asking yourself, what do I need to let go of so I can make space? What memories and stories and structures do I have? What stories am I telling myself that are not true? All of those experiences have created thoughts. Those thoughts are not facts. They are merely just thoughts. And so we have to give ourselves new thoughts in order for us to propel forward a majority of the time. This is why people get so stuck on that journey of becoming, right? Because they end up being stopped by their own thought process, or they don't even start, or you don't even begin because of your own mindset. And this is how you change your mindset. You give yourself a new story. And first of all, you recognize the old one and you feel it to heal it. You let it go. If you want any extra help with this, then check out my Release and Reframe program. Release and Reframe discusses all about the subconscious mind, trapped emotions, and explains them in a lot more detail. It will also give you an actual practice that I will take you through. This is an hour-long practice. You do not have to sit and write any of this stuff. All you need to do is sit, close your eyes, and listen. And this will help you to heal the things of the past that are blocking you from moving forward. Now, what we want to do is we want to go into rewiring. Now we've unwired, we've done some healing, we've done a little bit of work, we've understood our thought process and how that's stopping us from getting us to where we want to go. Now we want to rewire. The mind loves proof. Now that is going to be your biggest tool, is the mind loves proof. So you want to keep giving it proof, and that's why we keep showing up. You want to find proof. And a great way of doing this, which is the manifestation tool of visualization, and this is where it can be really effective. When we've once cleared out all that rubbish, if we can visualize, then the mind does not know the difference between what is in reality and what is not. It will just believe what you tell it. So if you keep telling it those negative thoughts, it's going to believe it. If you tell it positive ones, it is going to start to, over time, believe it. Now, it's important to remember the way you're wired at the moment and the thoughts that you've had, you've been thinking those for what? Depends on your age. You've been thinking those for 20 years, maybe 30 years, maybe even more. You've had those thoughts for a long time. So it's going to take a little bit of time to find the proof and to embody new systems and structures and thoughts. What we do is we start to have better habits, better routine and visualization. If you can visualize the thing that you want as if you've already got it every single morning, eventually the mind will believe you've already got it. And your actions will start to try and find it subconsciously because you've pushed it into your subconscious. A perfect time to do this is right before you go to bed, to start to visualize what it is you want. I used to do that with my house, and it's actually crazy how much my house looks like my visualization, to even the fence in the garden, the way the trees look behind it, my double doors at the back, the color of the carpets when I first moved into the house, like down to the simplest things, to the driveway, to everything that I visualize looks so similar, if not exact as what I visualize. And what I would do is I would close my eyes and I would visualize this every night before I went to bed. And my mind started to believe that that's what was going on. And don't get me wrong, in order from that space of visualization every night to getting this house, there was a lot of action as well. But what you're doing is you're telling your mind, this is what I want, this is what I want. And you're also transmuting that to the universe. Remember, you're sending out that frequency to the universe. So the universe is moving and shifting things in your life to get you into alignment with that thing that you keep visualizing, because it thinks it's already in your life. So it's like, oh, we need to move stuff so it is. So it's in alignment with, because this is what's in her life. All this other stuff doesn't match. Why is all this other stuff there? So you will find when you're going through this process, things are going to be moved. Things are going to be shifted outwards. Things are going to be brought in and pushed away. Doors are going to open and doors are going to close, because certain things are going to match what it is that you want and certain things are not. So when we're rewiring, we want to give ourselves proof. So you want to constantly say your thing that you're working on again is the gym, and one of the things you've been telling yourself is that other people are staring at you, or that you're too big, or that you can't do it, or I don't know enough about the gym, I can't do it, I feel uncomfortable. You want to flip those around, those thoughts. And you want to write a list of affirmations. This is when affirmations work. Affirmations can be so powerful when we've cleared our mind. We've got all this space, right? If you've done the shadow work, you've cleared out those emotions, you've cleared out your mind, you've now got all that space for these affirmations to fall into place. So you want to write them on your mirror. You want to write them where you can see them. Say them to yourself every morning, even if it's just 2 or 3. So we're doing that every day, that we're going to solidify this new life, these new habits, and these new things that are going to create what it is that we want. What you're basically doing here is you're creating a new structure. You know, at the beginning, I said that our thoughts and what we do are a result of our upbringing, our thought process, our belief systems, whether that be religion or parents or whatever it is. What we're doing now is we're rewriting that. So what do you want that to look like? How do you want to be around your kids? As someone who runs a business, what sort of time do you want to spend with them? As someone who goes to the gym a lot, how do you want to spend your every day? And I think this is something that most people miss when it comes to get what you want. When it comes to your goal or your dream life or your desires, they see the massive goal, but they don't see what it takes, the in between. So how is it that you want to live your life, right? You want a fit body, but do you want to go to the gym every day? And how do you want to feel going to the gym? So bring that into your affirmations. I have great friends at the gym. I enjoy going. I've met so many people in business that have taught me so much, that has allowed me to spend my day doing this, and this. And then I get to go on holiday with my family. Whatever it may be, it's the lifestyle we also have to focus on when it comes to creating what it is that we want. What else comes with that? What else comes with maintaining that home or that car, and finding a way to ensure that our thoughts are going to allow us to fully enjoy that process, and also knowing that this process isn't always going to be enjoyable. I've spoke about this before and I'm sure I will speak about it again. The whole point of life is to just experience it. And not everything has to feel amazing and has to feel great. It's the duality of life. It's the duality of emotions. There would not be sadness without happiness and vice versa. There would not be the sun without the moon. There would not be the light without the day. There would not be the water without the earth. There are the duality in the yin and yang with everything. And the same goes with your thoughts, your achievements, your emotions. There are going to be highs and lows. And there are going to be times when you're on this journey of rewiring your mindset where it isn't always going to feel great. But I can guarantee you when you get on the other side of that, it is so worth it. You want to look at this as a bit of a game, as a bit of a project, as yourself, as a bit of a game and a project. That we have this mind, and your mind is so powerful and you are able to change it. But first of all, you have to believe, right? You have to believe that you are able to do this in order to be able to do it. You have to believe that it's possible for you. And you also have to get to the point where you can feel like you deserve it. That's the biggest block for most people in getting what they want, whether that be material, whether it be the business, the work, the car, the more time with their family, better friends, is they don't always feel good enough and they don't feel like they deserve it. And when you start to work on deserving of things and feeling like you do deserve them and you do want them, whatever it is that it takes, and you get that grit and that push behind you that you're going to do whatever it is that it takes and that you deserve that, that's when things start to shift. And that's when the process becomes easier and you start to see the results. Two toxic things that I want to talk about in the two industries that I'm in. So the industry is spirituality. I'm a psychic medium. And the other industry is self-development. A lot of my work is focused around self-development. I connect to spirit to help people with their self-development. And in the spiritual industry, we often talk about honoring the body and taking time out. And I do believe we have to do this. And I do believe that a massive part of our journey is listening to our intuition. But you can get caught in this cycle of honoring the body and stopping so much that we don't actually get anything done. And then it takes us to the self-development industry, which is very, very opposite, and this hustle grind mindset, which I do feel like you do have to have some kind of grit to get what you want, and you do have to work towards it, just like you have to rest, right? As much as I believe that, this mentality of discipline and I love all this, like, do it even when you don't feel like it. But we have to find the balance between the two. And the way that you stop kind of getting caught in this thought of, I feel like shit, but I'm going to carry on anyway, and probably deplete your energy and not be consistent, is finding ways that it's enjoyable. So finding the actions that you need to take enjoyable, because then your mind is releasing that dopamine right into your mind. It's helping those thoughts solidify more, and you're able to get the things done that you want to get done. So it's finding the balance between those two things. Is, yes, we have to honor the body, we have to rest, we have to make sure we're getting enough sleep so we can take the action it requires to get the life that we want. But we don't want to do it so much that we're putting it off and procrastinating. And then on the other side, we do want to put in the effort and do it anyway. You're not always going to feel motivated. Motivation isn't real. It really isn't. You aren't always going to feel motivated. But what you can do is you can find a way to make your habits and make the things you need to do consistently enjoyable so that you continue to do them. And this helps with the mindset, and this helps with propelling you forward. And I hope that this video has helped you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, as that will really help me. And I will see you in the next one.